Hi everyone, welcome to News Generation. My name is Benis Abu-Beidu. Coming up, we'll tell you how a young girl and a youth group are fighting teenage pregnancy at Bongo in the Upper East region. And the nation has been shocked by the murder of an MP. We will share with you the latest on this. Residents of Nsawam Adoejiri have been compelled to depend on contaminated sources for water. We will tell you why. All of this coming up. Please stay with us.
Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.
You can reach us on social media via Facebook. You can reach us on facebook.com/newsgenerationgh and on Twitter @newsgengh. In recent times, the international development community has been discussing a term relative to population and development, that is demographic dividend. This week, Curious Minds, a youth group focused on adolescent sexual reproduction health, and they are hosting a regional conference to discuss what the subject means and where Ghana stands in the global view. So, what are demographic dividends and why should it concern you? Justice Beidu finds out in the following report.
Faces of young people with dreams cut short. This is Bongo in Ghana's Upper East region. This district is one of the places with the highest number of teenage pregnancy cases. In Ghana, adolescent people initiate sex as early as 10 years old, according to the 2014 Demographic and Health Survey.
Because they don't have any good work to do so that they can support themselves and their children. You see that sometimes some can go to armed robbery, some can go to fornication or prostitution, some can enter into stealing, and at the end they can lose their lives.
And that is what this young woman here is fighting in Bongo. Take the story of Asibi, for example. Got pregnant aged 15, dropped out of school at class 6, gave birth, and now doesn't know what the future holds.
Because man, team money you the dog be like I'm fine, but man, song that T7 can in school, I song to school poor. Never will not hate a honor of police.
Asibi is just one of hundreds of girls with similar stories. And this is what Curious Minds, a youth group focused on adolescent sexual and reproductive health, is seeking to shine a light on.
Sexuality moves beyond sex. Sexuality has to do with the whole human being. Every human being is a sexual being. And at a point in your life, you would express that sexuality. In the second decade of life, there are remarkable changes that take place. Emotional changes, physical changes. And this is a new road for young people who are transiting to adulthood. And so they need to be taught or guided on how to manage this period. So if you don't give young people access to the relevant information that will help them navigate this road, then it becomes problematic.
As the attention of the entire African region is focused on the issue of demographic dividends this week, it is important that the discussion is sustained to keep such important subjects as sexual reproductive health on the table. Sex has consequences, and as many young people continue to have it unprotected with unplanned families, Ghana's fertility rate would continue to rise. It means a lot for the quality of life in such impoverished communities as this one. This has impact on teenage pregnancy, vulnerability to sexually transmitted infections, and even unsafe abortions. So the big question then remains that it's Ghana and Africa as a whole ready to reap its demographic dividends. Justice Beidu, Joy News, Bongo.
Now, for the first time, a female student of the richest school here in Accra has emerged winner of the Scripps National Spelling Bee Championship in Ghana. Efwa Ansa outspelled 140 other students to become the overall winner of the 9th edition of the spelling competition. It took 5 rounds of word battling to narrow all 140 speller brighties down to 7.
Speller number 34, Rage Church School. You made it. Congratulations.
Then it was time to sieve out the overall winner with 6 boys and a girl in the final round. And Efwa Menukure made her school and parents proud.
Really happy. Like, it feels like a dream right now because I never expected this to happen.
This is not the first time Efwa has participated in the National Spelling Bee Championships. She has been here 3 times already, but this is the first time she's made it this far.
I think that what actually made it for me was my knowledge of root words, which are like the building blocks of words. You know, they come together to make the word. And so when you know more and more of such words, well, you find spelling words, well, very easy.
Emil Abagri of St. Mary's Child School and Lord Awingo of the University of Cape Coast Primary School came second and first runner-up respectively. Visually impaired Emmanuel Kwabnai Samwa, representing the Ekropon School for the Blind for the 3rd time at the National Championships, came in 6th place. He was not the only one who represented at the championships though. He came with 7 other schoolmates.
They are visually impaired from children, really, who are at the heart of it. They are children, it's what we all forget. And no one wants to be excluded from the society in which they live, especially when it comes to activities such as this, especially when it comes to children. So for us, for the last 5 years, we've chosen to work with the Ekropon School for the Blind to prove a point. We actually want to see if we can work with those who are hard of hearing as well, because again, we believe that they communicate anyway. They communicate either by hand language or sign language. So we should be able to inculcate that in the spelling as well.
Efwa will represent Ghana at the 89th Scripps International Spelling Bee in Washington, D.C., USA later this year.
Congratulations! Wow!
We wish Efwa Ansa all the best in the international edition of the Spelling Bee. And the Member of Parliament for Ebuakwa North, Joseph Boachi Dankwa, was in the early hours of Tuesday stabbed to death at his residence in Shiashi. The MP was murdered in his bedroom at about 1:25 a.m. His death has shocked many. Some MPs have called for more protection from the state after the death of their colleague. You have been sharing your views with us on this issue on WhatsApp.
I don't think someone would just get up and go and kill someone if the person hadn't offended him or done anything bad to him. So I think it was all planned or it was an assassination.
Well, I think that it was a matter of hatred because someone can't just come and kill him without stealing anything from his apartment. So it would be an assassination or a hitman or something.
Maybe he offended someone, so he sent an assassin to come and kill him.
It's not like as if someone would just kill you and then just leave you, but maybe he did something to wrong someone, and maybe the person wanted to have his or her revenge, so the person came to kill him. And about the MP saying that the security, I don't think they need security because they already paid this thing, so they can easily look for other security agencies instead of looking for the Ghanaian police and asking government to supply them, which will waste the economy and the government's time.
I think the MP being killed is just like a matter of hatred because we're a few months away from election and just kill the person. If he has done something to, let's say the person killed him, you should have done something that wouldn't have killed him because he's representing a constituency in parliament. So if technically you've shattered the dreams of the people in that constituency when he dies. And the other MPs are also asking for protection. I think it's necessary because if they die, like I said, the constituency will also be in jeopardy. So I think they must be given protection.
No, I don't think it's necessary. If they haven't done anything wrong to anyone, I don't think they'll be that scared to protect themselves from the citizens of Ghana.
For me, I think they need it.
It's not necessary because if you are not corrupted, people will not come and kill you. Or if you don't offend someone, no one will come and kill you. But if you continue to be corrupted, people will try to kill you or do bad things to you.
They have a responsibility to fulfill. If they are all dead, they can't fulfill that responsibility.
Those were some of your comments on WhatsApp. Now, a lot has been happening in local news. Let's take you through.
The murder case of Abuakwa North Member of Parliament has been transferred to the National Headquarters Unit of the Ghana Police Service. The regional unit of the force made the announcement after earlier calling for a press conference to update journalists on the progress of investigations. The Member of Parliament for Abuakwa North, Joseph Boachi Dankwa, was in the early hours of Tuesday stabbed to death at his residence in Shiashi in Accra. The MP was murdered in his bedroom at about 1:25 a.m. His death has shocked many. The police have arrested 5 people who are currently being interrogated. The University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, is calling on government to lift an embargo on public sector employment to enable universities across the country employ more staff. The teachers say the inability of universities to employ the needed staff is affecting its ability to fully carry out its mandate. Addressing a news conference on Wednesday, the association indicated universities, for instance, are unable to run new programs because they do not have enough lecturers to take up the programs. President John Mahama's nominee to the Interior Ministry, Prosper Douglas Bani, is being vetted by Parliament's Appointment Committee. He is expected to answer questions on the readiness of the police to ensure impartial discharge of their duties before, during and after the elections, as well as other key security questions. The former Chief of Staff is among a set of ministers nominated recently by the President to serve in his government, but their suitability for the job is to be determined by the Appointments Committee of Parliament. Flag bearer of the People's National Convention, Dr. Edward Mahama, is calling on the National Peace Council to intervene and help bring lasting peace to the conflict-stricken areas in the northern part of the country, particularly the Bunkprupu Yonyo district. Dr. Mahama made the appeal when he called on the governing board of the National Peace Council in Accra. The conflict in Bunkprupu has spanned several years and there is no end to the bloodshed yet. Recently, renewed clashes between brothers fighting for the right to be unskinned claimed some lives and left many properties destroyed. It is now becoming unbearable for health facilities in the Upper West region to cope due to delay in reimbursement from the National Health Insurance Authority. The NHIA owes health facilities in the region an amount of over 19 million Ghana cedis as at December 2015. The last time some of the hospitals were reimbursed was in May 2015. Acting Upper West Regional Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Winfred Ofosu, disclosed it at the Upper West Health Review meeting and warned that healthcare delivery in the region could collapse if the situation continues. Multiple Nigerian award-winning actress Omotola, in an exclusive interview with Joy News, has disclosed that her kind of music is not commercial. She says she hopes to hold her own concerts soon to interpret what she really does. Meanwhile, she says she allows pictures of her daughter on social media and went further to explain that her kids have been properly schooled and are now ready for the industry.
News Generation takes a quick break. We'll be right back. You're still watching News Generation. Now, the water treatment plant reservoir in Nsawam has dried up due to the harmattan. This has affected water distribution in Nsawam and its environs. Residents of Nsawam Adwejiri are compelled to use water from a contaminated source of River Dinsu. MFA Ewanam Atiamwa Eli has visited the area and has come through with this report.
This is the Nsawam Water Treatment Plant. The water level has dropped drastically to below 2 feet at the time of our visit. There were no officials to explain, but Joy News gathered the drop is as a result of the harmattan. The shortage has affected water distribution to Insowo, Madwejuri and its environs. So, I set off to find out more from the townspeople. There are pockets of men and women, children here washing. They are just a little distance away from an outlet of the River Densu. The reason being that they don't have water in their various homes. I want to speak to a couple of them to find out why they are doing their washing here.
The reason why we are washing here is we don't have pipe for the past 2 weeks now, and we have been fetching this River Densu for the past 2 weeks now. So we used to fetch the water, go home and boil it before we drink, and after that we used to come here and wash it again. We have been washing clothes, cleaning that same water I used to wash and clean our, and even prepare food to eat ourselves. Some people even don't used to boil, but they used to drink it that way. And at that same water, they used to bath inside with soap and sponge and all that stuff. So we are suffering here in Sao Mzongo.
When I came here since last month, water problem. They will tell us that they will open the tap, but we will go and sit there for some times. They will not open. Sometimes they will open within 30 minutes, it will go off again. So we normally came here to fetch the water and go to the house and bath and things. So if it's time for us to wash, we do come here and do the washing.
Do you drink? Do you use to cook?
No, we don't use to cook. But some people use this to cook because they have no option than to use this water to cook. But us, we don't drink. We normally buy pure water and take. But even in cooking in our house, we do boil it. You know, if we boil the water, nothing will happen about it. So.
Small-scale businesses, artisans, as well as students of the St. Martin Senior High School in Nsawam depend on this stretch of the Densu River for their chores. Ima, tell me, how do you feel about using this water at school?
This one, we feel, let me say, it's not good, but how will you do it? We are managing. We are managing.
How often does the pipe flow in your school?
Madam, like 1 week. 1 week.
You are washing colored clothes, some are white. How do you ensure that those clothes do not get spots by the color of water you are using?
We pour some blue point or Dettol. That's the water should be clean. Okay, when we the water should be clean. That's why we use the Dettol and the Omo to be the clothes to be clean.
Is this something you enjoy doing?
No.
So, what do you want to change?
The pipe is not coming, so we want the government to bring the water. We should wash our clothes. Some people will come and wash their goats in the water. It is not good. The water is so dirty. So we need a pipe. We need a pipe to wash our clothes. We can't drink. We are suffering from a water.
Water from the Densu River flowed narrowly on the sandy base of the dam. Farmers along the dam also depend largely on the flow of water here. Despite the drop in water levels, residents still draw the little left in the dam to irrigate their crops. The effects of this shortage cannot be overemphasized as residents continue to search and draw water from every access point of the Densu River, which wholesomeness is not guaranteed.
It's now time to catch up with some international news. Sunderland footballer Adam Johnson has pleaded guilty to 1 count of sexual activity with a child and 1 charge of grooming. Appearing at Bradford Crown Court, the Sunderland winger also denied 2 charges of sexual activity with a girl aged under 16. The 28-year-old from Castle Eden, County Durham, who has 12 England caps, was arrested in March 2015. His case is due to be formally opened on Friday. Traditional leaders in South Africa have expressed disquiet over Chief Mandla Mandela's conversion to Islam. The Congress of Traditional Leaders in South Africa told the BBC that being Muslim could affect his ability to uphold Xhosa traditions. Traditional leaders are at times called upon to lead Thanksgiving rituals for ancestors, which would include presenting slaughtered animals to them in prayer. Mandla Mandela, who converted to Islam late last year, got married in a Cape Town mosque last week. He inherited his position as chief of Mvezo in the Abathembu clan from his grandfather Nelson Mandela. 3 Malian soldiers were killed when their vehicle hit a landmine in the central region of Mopti, officials say. 2 others were wounded and taken to a hospital, the Defense Ministry said in a statement. No group has claimed responsibility for the device. Mali has been threatened by various armed groups and has fought Islamist rebels in the north for a number of years. The incident happened in Mondoro, next to the border with Burkina Faso, the statement said. Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Bernie Sanders have shaken up the U.S. presidential race with decisive victories in the New Hampshire primary. Billionaire Mr. Trump is likely to get more than twice the number of votes of the next Republican candidate. Senator Bernie Sanders, who beat Democratic rival Hillary Clinton by a huge margin, said his victory showed people wanted real change. Both candidates are riding on a wave of discontent with mainstream politics. The aim of the primary race is to choose which candidates will represent the Republican and Democratic parties in November's presidential election.
Thank you, New Hampshire!
So away from the international front, let's come back to Ghana. Tuobodom Senior High School got burnt a few weeks ago, and the MP of the area has visited the school and donated some items.
On January 10 this year, fire ravaged the administration block of Tuobodom Senior High Technical School. All the administrative records and books were lost in that accident. Deputy Minister of Education in charge of pre-tertiary, Alex Treme, in an earlier visit to the school, promised to donate some books for restocking. It is in fulfillment of this pledge that Alex Treme presented the books to fill the library of Tuobodom Senior High Technical School. Headmaster of the school, Bismarck Yeboah, commended the Deputy Minister for honoring his promise but appealed for the completion of this library complex that was started by a Roman sister.
At a meeting held in the school assembly hall, in the presence of Nanan, he promised that he will bring us a quantity of books. What we are witnessing this morning is in fulfillment of that promise. It is no longer a dream. The speed and alacrity that this presentation is taking place amply and eloquently testify the minister's love for this school.
Alex Treme also presented a new wristograph costing 35,000 Ghana cedis to replace the bent one at Tuobodom SHTS.
The reason why I work overnight to get you all these books is that without books, you don't have education. That is why in our parlance, we always call schooling womansia. The woman is book. So if we don't have books, we don't have anything called schooling. So that is why we are bringing you these titles of books for you to study. I will teach all of you to use the books. If you leave them in the shelves, you gather dust. We'll come back here another time and there will be anything we call books.
The Deputy Minister later on behalf of the government presented 9,500 dual desks 4,000 mono desks, and 3,000 library furniture, among others, to the Techiman North Municipal Assembly for onward distribution to schools in the area. The furniture, Alex Stremer stated, was provided to enhance effective teaching in the Techiman North District. Nestor Kafuya Jumash reports for Joy News.
Now, a selfie of her mom and twin daughters has caused a stir online, as many who see the photo are shocked to hear that the three are not, in fact, triplets. In fact, I was also shocked upon seeing it. Let's check this out.
In this picture posted on January 28th is a mother with her two twin daughters. Can you guess which one? Neither could anyone else. Now the mystery has been solved. In a tweet posted February 1st, Kaylin Mahomes, one of the twins, wrote, "LOL, my mom is on the left." The puzzling pic has been retweeted more than 19,000 times and counting, and received more than 31,000 likes, similar to how the dress took social media by storm just under a year ago, when readers couldn't decide whether a striped dress was white and gold or black and blue. Some Twitter users are also sharing this new Who's the Mom snap with the hashtag #BlackDon'tCrack, which refers to some African Americans' age-defying smooth skin. So is the left-leaning lady the mom in the first photo too? What do you think?
What do you think? I couldn't tell it myself, but that's an interesting picture over there. Well, join us on facebook.com on /News Generation G8 and on NewsGen GH on Twitter. That's all for this edition of News Generation. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Benes Abu Beidu.
News Generation, supported by
Cowbell with Vitarid.